Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. We're excited to share this today. As you found out through the mailings, that hub19 is the collaboration of our 4 school corporations. It is also with Patoka Valley Vocational Co-op, VUJ, and Dubois Strong. So I want to give a shout out, first of all, for all of us collaborating and working together. So give all these guys a round of applause for that. This collaboration effort began with a grant from the Regional Opportunities Initiative. And I think we have a couple members. Are the rest here? Hey, they're here. Tina Peterson, the CEO back there, please stand up. Give her a big round of applause. And someone who's been with us since the beginning, which we're in year 5 now, Michi McLean. She's kind of been our coach and our guide. And other members of ROI, please stand. And they're our newest helpers. The purpose of today is to share some information pertaining to what we do in education and how we can partner with businesses and organizations in the county. Most importantly, this is about our students' future employment. And hopefully that employment takes place in Dubois County. And that's what we're all about, and that's our goal. And that's what we want to share, some steps that we're taking, some opportunities for you to get involved in that. Because opportunities for our students through you is a win for both of us. And that's truly what we're after here today. So we're going to try to stay on our timeline. We're going to just introduce each other as they come up. So I'm going to introduce our first speaker, which is Rick Gladish. Rick was our first Hub9 chairman that started all this, put all this together, led us through the whole process to where we are today. So Rick, you're up. Uh-oh. Here, you can press next slide.
Thank you, Bill. Bill asked me to say a few words about some foundational information about Hub19, and I decided I'd like to start with some what-ifs this morning, some, let's call them Dubois County hypotheticals. What if the 4 county school corporations decided to collaborate and work together at a very high level and improve educational and career opportunities for all students? What if willing local industries and employers and other stakeholders were invited to join this collaboration? What if the 4 corporations were provided with, for the first time ever, resources, time, training, exploration, and exposure opportunities, and amazing support? What if each corporation was able to hire for a period of time, let's say about 9 months, a coordinator to lead their corporation in these collaboration efforts? What if a design team was developed for each corporation who would take on the important work of listening to stakeholders and then designing solutions for Dubois County? What if over 400 students, community members, parents, teachers, and industry leaders were interviewed and given the opportunity to share their opinions about the issues facing our schools and our communities, creating over 2,000 pieces of data? What if these coordinators, these design team members, and other interested stakeholders were provided the opportunity to travel and to visit cutting-edge, innovative educational programs throughout the United States. What if these coordinators and these design team members were trained in design thinking process and assigned a dedicated coach who provided unlimited support? What if this group of educators and stakeholders used their training, the data they collected, and their exposure from these promising practice visits to create a plan that would impact our schools and communities in ways never before experienced? And what if local industry representatives, educators, and community stakeholders came together and provided oversight and feedback for this plan? None of these things, these what-ifs, had ever happened before in Dubois County that I know of, at least not all of these coming together like they did. But all of these opportunities became a reality in the spring of 2017 when Dubois County received a Ready Schools Development Grant through Regional Opportunity Initiatives, as Bill's already recognized. And this was to be implemented during the 2017-18 school year. So again, I'd like to personally thank Tina and Michi for everything you did for us. What was the outcome of this development grant? A Dubois County Ready Schools implementation plan. In July of 2018, Dubois County received the exciting news that we, the 4 Dubois County school corporations, were the recipients of a Cohort 1 Ready Schools grant, and we were now charged with implementing our plan and its 5 strategies over the next 4 to 5 years. This is the plan we arrived at. Number 1, develop career and innovation hub for Dubois County. Number 2, develop student employability skills at all grade levels. Number 3, improve and align student career exploration and awareness opportunities. Number 4, develop engaged and relevant learning environments in our classrooms. And number 5, create a strong advanced manufacturing pathway and academy, now known as the Automation and Robotics Academy. Through the building of relationships and partnerships with Vincennes University Jasper, the Patoka Valley CTE Co-op, Dubois Strong, and local employers, through the creation of hub19 task forces, through a partnership with Magnify Learning, which provided project-based learning training for our teachers, through the creation of guiding documents like the Dubois County Graduate Profile and the Dubois County Career Framework, and through many grants supporting innovative teachers and schools, hub19 implemented the strategies of the Dubois County Ready Schools Plan starting in the fall of 2018. And I have to say, and I'm not sure how others felt, but this was, without a doubt, one of the most amazing and rewarding experiences of my 41 years in education. Just a fantastic opportunity for our schools and our county. At this time, I'd like to recognize 4 very special people. Earlier in my what-ifs, I talked about these coordinators. I'd like to recognize our 3 Ready Schools coordinators, Larry Tinbarge representing Southwest Dubois, Jeff Jesse. Jeff, would you stand? I want to embarrass you a little bit. representing Greater Jasper Schools, and Jim Mailing, representing Southeast Dubois Schools. And I also want to recognize Michi McLean. Michi, would you stand again, please? I don't even know what to say about Michi. Her support, her guidance, her patience, her willingness to work with this group of men that she had to work with. Not really sure how she did all that, but she did it. And never forget what you've done for Dubois County and our school corporations. I'd like to ask now that anyone who served on a hub19 task force, a Ready Schools design team, our education and workforce advisory team, the hub19 advisory council, or the hub19 leadership team, or any committee that we put together, would you please stand right now? Got to be some of you out there. There's a few. Here's some. Thank you. What an amazing group. And none of this would have happened without your efforts and dedication. I'd like to close by saying this. Keep this going. Please keep the collaboration and the unified efforts going. It will make all the difference in Dubois County and for our students. And now, it's my privilege to introduce our next presenter, one of the most talented and dedicated educators I have worked with, Dana Koontz. Dana served on the hub19 leadership team, our graduate profile team, our Dubois County Career Framework team. She pretty much did everything, and now leads our Dubois County College and Career Coaches. Dana?
Thank you, Rick. Again, my name is Dana Koontz. A lot of familiar faces in the crowd, but for those of you who don't know me or what I do, I work for Greater Jasper Schools in the area of career coaching. I work primarily at the middle school and the high school, and also work closely with hub19, as Rick said, over the past few years. And closely with Rick and the many teams that he just mentioned. So I am excited to be here today. I'm going to talk just a little bit about the graduate profile that Rick mentioned briefly. It is in your packet, and we're going to take a look sort of starting with where the graduate profile came from. So just a little bit of history, and Rick gave a lot of this, so I won't repeat. But the 4 county schools coming together in collaboration through the Ready Schools grant process, a lot of what they heard, he just mentioned over 400 interviews, and I was not a part of that process. So this is what I've heard about all of the work that they did to get to that point. A lot of what they heard from you all, from community partners and industry partners in terms of our student preparation, was that our students are most definitely academically prepared and in the hands-on skill sets prepared. And we continue the work that we're doing in those areas, but that the major deficiency was in the intangibles, the soft skills, the employability skills, the showing up for work on time and work ethic, and those pieces that are so important in having a successful employee and a successful career. And so with that knowledge sort of in our pocket, and then also we had the ability to visit a school in Eminence, Kentucky that already had a graduate profile and was using it successfully inside their school corporation and with industry partners. So we were able to utilize that a little bit as a model, and along with the local needs assessment, all that we heard from industry partners, we said this is something that we feel like we need to develop in Dubois County. And so we started with guiding documents like the Indiana employability skills, and we went to work. There were 8 of us that served on a committee to look at what does a graduate profile look like in Dubois County, because these soft skills are attributes that are thrown around all the time, right? But what are the pieces specific to Dubois County, specific to our industry and workforce that we want to make sure to include? And those 8 folks were representative of education as well as industry also, so we came to the table and worked together on developing those 8 attributes. 8 folks, 9 attributes. Then we had, the following summer, we had 30 educators in the room here at VUJ for many days working on what we refer to as exemplars. So from the 9 attributes in the Dubois County grad profile, if I use Excel as an example, that our students will excel, well, what does that mean to a first grader versus an 11th grader? And that's where the exemplars sort of came into play. And so we had educators at each of those grade levels in the room to have those conversations and write exemplars that would make sense to our students. If you followed the QR code on your packet, and have the presentation on your phone. I do have a link inside the presentation here to the grad profile. You also have an example in your packet. So the 2 pages in your packet, as we move on here, the first are the 9 attributes and sort of the design that we went with there. And then the second page is just an example of a grade level band exemplar page. And I used 11th, 12th graders because they are the closest to you all in the workforce, right? So just wanted to give you an example of what that looks like. And so this first page that you're looking at, again, the attributes of a graduate. What we went with was action verbs. We want kids to take ownership of this, and we want them to be able to say things like, I can and I will. I will contribute. I will collaborate. I can initiate. And take some ownership and pride in the things that they can and they will do. So we wrote all of those attributes as action verbs, and then we also spent a great deal of time defining each of those verbs at the student level so that students, teachers, industry partners, everyone had a shared understanding of what was meant by each of those attributes. And then moving on, as I said, and this is why I referred to the packet, because I don't intend for you to be able to read this on screen here. This is an example of grade level band exemplars. And so in the 11th and 12th grade, for instance, under communicate, we have participate in an interview as one of the exemplars. So a student participates in an interview and they have documentation, evidence of having met one of the pieces of the graduate profile. So graduate profile has been developed at this point, and where we are right now, the other 3 county career coaches are down here to my right, and I'll introduce them in a little while. But where we are right now is taking this graduate profile back to our buildings. In Greater Jasper, for instance, I have 4 individuals who are going to serve with me in looking at how do we roll this out in each of the buildings, in each of the 4 buildings in Greater Jasper, and they are all doing similar things in their corporations. And then what does it look like and what does it mean to you all in the community and in industry? And so we are looking at, the 4 of us met last week actually, to develop a template for students to use that this turns into an electronic portfolio that we hope, and this was some of the feedback from our industry partners who were on committee with us when writing those 9 attributes, that we hope that you all will start to see as a valid tool in the hiring process. So if we have an electronic portfolio that references these 9 attributes, it will potentially include pictures and descriptions and whatever that student chooses to document as evidence of their soft skills and their employability skills, that potentially could be a link inside a job application someday that you all can start to see that even if they are, this candidate is from Jasper High School and this candidate is from Forest Park, I can look at that consistent piece and that consistent tool on soft skills. One thing I wanted to point out, I think it's important for the conversation is that the state of Indiana, DOE, is working on the Indiana GPS right now. This was sort of new information to me in the past few months. And the GPS stands for Graduates Prepared to Succeed. It is something that they will be bringing to us in school corporations. I had a meeting just yesterday afternoon with Dr. Jenner, the state superintendent, and a couple of gentlemen who are working on this team with her. And they are really, really excited about our graduate profile. Where we have 9 attributes, there are 5 or 6 indicators. Those 5 or 6 indicators are all present in our graduate profile, so they're not reinventing, or we won't have to reinvent, I should say, because we are already doing the work and starting to lay the groundwork for what this looks like for our students. And they've asked for us to be partners, us meaning Dubois County, to be partners in what that looks like at the state level. They'd like to talk to business and industry and healthcare and whatnot on what that Indiana GPS might look like at the state level. So I put my email address here. It's also on the front pages in the packet. If you have questions related to graduate profile, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. And if you have interest, perhaps, in being involved at the state level in that conversation, I can put you in touch with those folks as well. I am going to, at this time, turn it over to Jared Howard. He is our Director of Career and Technical Education in Patoka Valley, which serves Dubois County. Thanks, Jared.
Thank you, Dana. Well, I know a lot of familiar faces out here, so it's good to see you guys. Thanks for coming out. You're going to see that I've been in this job 6 years, and there's been changes, of course, in everything that we do in the last 6 years. 6 years ago, we had all 4 county schools had a different calendar. So we had students that were coming to our HOSA program at Jasper that were from Forest Park, for example, that had 15 days where they didn't even match up. So I can tell you that simple things is in the last 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, all of our 4 superintendents have worked closely together with hub19 and other folks. We really are. There is a collaboration here that we don't have throughout the state and other places. I'm Jared Howard, the Patoka Valley CT Director. So I serve Dubois County, Pike County, Perry County, and Spencer County. So I have 9 high schools in our cooperative. We have about 550 students that leave school each day and travel to one of our programs. So what I'm listing for you today on this presentation is just what is available to Dubois County. There's many duplicates if you go to Perry County, and they have some things down there that we don't have here. It's really based on local needs. So I've kind of listed some programs on the left that are traditional programs that we've had for a long time. Our HOSA program and CNA actually started out of a need. So Memorial Hospital came to me and said, we don't have CNAs, we need CNAs. And I said, well, okay, here's what we can do. If you give me an instructor, we can start the program. I have the kids, right? And they actually stepped up to the plate and gave us an instructor. And it's been a great collaboration. Actually, the CNA students in the second semester work with Good Samaritan and Memorial Hospital, and they hire them right out of our program. So it's been a great partnership. Aviation is at Huntingburg Airport. We have Travis McQueen here. Raise your hand, Travis. Everybody needs to know who Travis is, right? He come to me several years ago. We had interns there that were going and getting their pilot license, and he said, hey, you think we can spread this out and do this with other schools? And I said, I think we can if we find an instructor, right, which is the key. The instructor is always the key, and we had an instructor that stepped up to the plate. And every other Friday, if you're in Huntingburg, about 1:30 or 2 o'clock, if you look up, there'll be a plane, and it has an instructor and kids in it. High school kids learn how to fly. They're getting their pilot license when they're a senior in high school. So we have, I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see the list of programs that we have, very successful programs on the left. And then the VUJ programs, what we have, when we started this process, we had one program hosted at VUJ. It was IT support, and I had about 7 students in it. And they came to VUJ and worked in the lab and earned high school credit and some dual credit. Through the hub19 process, we were able to connect with VUJ and their leadership, and Christian Bloom has been fantastic to work with. And we started several programs. So the first one we started was automation robotics. We did that because it was a catchy name. It wasn't manufacturing, it was automation robotics, and we thought kids would sign up and get into that program. And we have a couple of different sections of students this year for that, and that's grown each year. And that's hosted at VUJ. So how the partnership works, on the programs on the VUJ Patoka Valley programs, those are actually where our superintendents pay the tuition for students to go here. So our students, it doesn't cost them anything. We have two that's sitting over here that's going to talk to you in just a minute. They're going to graduate from high school with 28 VU credits that didn't cost them anything. Our superintendents pay the bill for those guys to come here. So if we have IT and cybersecurity, once again, these are things that came out of local partnerships. So I hear all the time, we're in these meetings as you are all the time, and they go, well, we think we need more kids in vocational training. I'm like, we do. We have more now than we had 5 years ago. Well, I'd like for the schools to work with us, send us kids. I'm like, we are. I promise you we are. We're trying our best. You know, when you think about construction trades, I have a lot of folks that are friends of ours that say, you know, we can't find people in masonry or framing or any kind of construction-related field. So I had the opportunity to go to the Dubois County Builders Association, how many years ago, Bart? 4? And we were in the basement of Happy Hour, right, with these guys, and they're going, hey, this is what we need. And I said, well, here's what we can do. If you help me find an instructor, we can do it. Because I promise you I can get kids if we just can't find instructors. And so we had a gentleman step up, Luke Nordoff, who owns LAN here in Jasper, stepped up, and he would work in the morning and come out in the afternoon and teach our kids. Now it's expanded to a full day program taught here at VUJC, where they're actually getting the college credits. VUJC stepped up the plate and hired a full-time employee for that, Vince Helming. He's doing a fantastic job. Construction trade started out of local partnerships. EMT started out of a local partnership, Memorial Hospital. And then we had business management we added this year. Business management really was based off of seniors this year and every year that graduate that they don't have a lot of dual credits or college credits that can transfer in to the business schools. So we actually, VU said, we have the program. If you get us the kids, and they hired an instructor, and once again, it's been a successful program. So we have some future programs that are going to come down the pike, hopefully next year, if not the year after. So we're excited about that. And I've only got 5 minutes, and I'm at about 7 probably already, so I'll talk real fast. Here's the good news. I get to share it all the time. You don't. And sometimes it's just my fault because I haven't shared it with you. You know, we have 50 CTE districts in the state of Indiana. Patoka Valley is one of 50. Right now, I was in a training yesterday. Patoka Valley ranks 5th in the state in core indicators. So we have, thank you. And the reason, and it really has nothing, as you know, you've heard me talk for 5 minutes. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with our local partnerships. We have people that have stepped up and are providing opportunities for our students, and including VUJ, who's just done a fantastic job. They've been fantastic to work with. And so we have 375 Dubois County students that are just Dubois County that are enrolled in one of our programs, where they're leaving school and going to one of our programs. We have about 66% of our seniors are enrolled. Now think about that. Almost 70% of seniors graduate and go through one of our programs. 109 Dubois County students are earning VU college credit. Those are students that's coming here where the superintendents are paying their tuition. VUJ hosts 180 students each day. Now that's 180. If you take Seth Sickbert, who's going to come up in a minute and talk about work-based learning and ICE, and he's hosted here at VUJ because we want this to be the hub for career and technical education in the county, then it's over 300. So we have 180 students that are, HOSA used to be at Jasper High School, CNA used to be at Jasper High School. We moved them here in our nursing facility so that they have access to our labs at VUJ. And I will tell you, I'm not sure we had anybody in our HOSA program that graduated from high school and went to VUJ for nursing. And do we now, Christian? Yes. Because they have access to it. So you can see how this works. 249 students participate in an internship or job shadow or work experience. Those are seniors. So that's almost half of our senior class in Dubois County are in a work-based learning or job shadow internship. So they're being exposed to lots of great things that we have in our county. So next on the list is going to be Jacob Burke. Thank you for coming. If you need to get in touch with me, I'm sure my contact is in that packet. I'd love to talk to you if I can help you with anything. So thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jared. We have this is pretty unique. It really is. What you know, in partnership with hub19, Patoka Valley, VUJ, our superintendents, our students, and all of you sitting right here, all the partnerships. I'm telling you, this is unique. Okay, it's special, and I think we should do this once a year and celebrate. So I didn't really know what I was going to talk about because I figured Jared was going to, and he did an excellent job like he always does. By the way, my name is Jacob Berg, and I am the director of the C10 building, and that's the Center for Technology, Innovation, Manufacturing, just to our north on the VJ campus here. Consider this an invite to stop in. If you haven't been in our building in the last 2-3 years, please stop in. We have expanded in every way. We've tripled the equipment in our building. We actually just put in a brand new $750,000 cobot technology lab. We have more than quadrupled our programs and our numbers of students. Just last year, we hired 2 full-time instructors at the C10. So we are headed in the right direction. I wanted to talk a little bit about the dual credits that students are earning in the VUJ Patoka Valley programs. In particularly the Automation Robotics Academy and Construction Trades. We have 5 students in one of our college programs. It's called the CAP program. It's an associate's degree in technical maintenance. Several of our partner companies are in the audience right now. We have 5 students in that associate's degree that started in Automation Robotics Academy. And they earned, most of them earned up to 16 credits. If they were in it for 2 years, 16 credits stacked directly into the CAP program. Those 5 students are going to graduate with an associate's degree in 1 year, and that's fantastic. Okay, in addition to the 16 credits, our local schools are offering English dual credit, math dual credit, sometimes science dual credit, sometimes speech dual credit. So those students are coming in. We have one student in particular came in with 31 credits. Okay, that's a graduating senior starting an associate degree program with 31 credits. Associate degree program is 60 credits, so he's completed half of it in high school. Our construction trade students are earning 25 college credits. In addition, and Jared didn't mention this, they're building a Habitat for Humanity house. We dedicated the house last May to a family in Jasper. They're working on a house in Huntingburg right now. Fantastic experience for students. You know, something they can put on their resume, they can talk about when they're interviewing. 12 credits in our IT, cybersecurity, 6 credits in EMT, 12 college credits in business management. All of these programs contain some type of internship component, okay? And again, thank you to all of our partners. We can't do this without you. And we're going to continue to expand. So if you are here and you're not engaged with Patoka Valley, VUJ, please reach out to us. We want to engage. We're all on the same team here. And this is the real reason I think I was asked to speak, just so that I could introduce a couple students. The highlight of the presentation, actually. So I'm going to start with, we're going to start with Preston Small. Preston is a senior at Jasper High School. He's in his 2nd year construction trades, and we'll let him tell you a little bit about the construction trades program and his experience.
Like Jacob Berg said, it's my 2nd year in construction trades at VUJC through the high school. In the first year I was a junior, I took it because I thought I wanted to be work in construction some way, somehow. So I took it to see how I like construction. And first 2 months, we learned about safety and how to use the tools. And that's one of the biggest things you need to know in construction, because you can get hurt real easy. And then right after that, we went downstairs into the lab, in a nice lab that they have there, and we built these walls that we can learn how to build walls, how to put doors and windows in, and learn basics of electrical. And then we learned about block and brick too, the 2nd semester. And I was like, during the summer, I was like, I want to take this again because I really like this. So I took my 2nd year, which I'm in right now, and we're actually building the Habitat for Humanity house there in Huntingburg. And it's a lot bigger scale, and you know, last year, junior year, some people might have messed around, played around and stuff, but this year you can't because you're actually building a house for someone that is in need, and if you mess up, it's your fault, it's not theirs. And then although that we get this experience through high school, it also gives us about half a year off in college for construction. And next year I plan to go to VU to finish my construction degree and hopefully go into workforce for construction. And that's all I have for you guys today.
That's fantastic. I wanted to introduce Carter Blackman. Carter is a Northeast Dubois graduate, so he's actually in his first year of the CAP program that I referenced earlier, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about, he's one of the 5 students who's going to graduate in the year. He's going to talk to you about his experience with ARA and CAP.
Hello. As Jacob mentioned, my name is Carter Beckman. I graduated from Northeast Dubois last year, and I'm currently enrolled in the CAP program. I'm working my internship at Jasper Engines. It's a great opportunity, great company. I really enjoy it. They're all very nice to me, very welcoming. But as for college, I'm in the CAP program, and as Jacob mentioned, I'm going to be one of the students that can finish it in a year due to my experience with ARA and other dual credit classes in high school. So I only took 1 year of ARA. There's 2 different years you can take, but I didn't take it until senior year, so I could only take 1 year. With that, I can still finish in a year, which is fantastic. But those who can do it in 2, do both years, get even more dual credits, an even better opportunity, more money saved. It's a great opportunity. I really enjoyed ARA. I had it right away in the morning, and the teacher was great. He works well with students. We learned about safety right away, like you always should, and he helped us through it. We did robotics, we did pneumatics and hydraulics, worked on a lot of different aspects that you would work on as a maintenance man in my career, and got a lot of great experience. Still am with the CAP student now, and it's a great program. So, thank you.
That's not easy to do, right? So nice job, both of you. Christian got up like he was going to speak, but I wanted to introduce him and just really quick. Christian, how long have you been here? 4 years, 5 years? 4 years. Okay. He has taken the VUJ campus and has us going in the right direction. He is the reason. He is the leader. All of these Patoka Valley programs, he's worked those out with Jared Howard. And I can't say enough. He's my boss. He's the dean of the campus. He's become a good friend, somebody that I can talk to about things outside of work. And I'm privileged to work for him. Christian.
Good morning. Great to see all of you here today. So many familiar faces in the crowd. Dubois County is a special place. We are doing some incredible things here. I'm so proud of the partnerships that have been shared this morning, and I'm proud to work with so many of you in this camp, in the audience today. I have to be careful sometimes when I get into these meetings, and I use the word proud too many times. Just some really cool things happening here in the county. One thing that they didn't share is that both the Automation Robotics Academy and our Construction Trades Pathway were both received a SEAL designation from the governor's Indiana governor's office, which means that they recognize the work that's happening here in Dubois County and kind of elevate those programs for the rest of the state. And so that other communities can come here, can reach out to us and copy, hopefully, copy the collaborations that are happening here. I think we'd be remiss to, if we didn't mention that this whole process began with Bill Hoaxang. He was the one that initiated the grant process and pulling together the 4 superintendents and pulling in VUJ. And so let's give Bill a round of applause for starting all this out. And I also want to thank the 4 superintendents for how great they've been to work with. I think that we are fortunate to have their leadership. All 4 school corporations, we have incredible education opportunities for our kids, for my kids, starting in pre-K here in this county. And I'm grateful for their leadership and how they've pulled in VUJ and our industry partners as well. And then last but not least, I also want to thank Jared for his partnership and he is so innovative. As he shared, as he's out there in the community, he's got such a great ear to connect with you all in industry and shoot me an email or a text or reach out and say, can we do this program? Can we do this? This is what's next. He's always thinking about what's next. And because of that, that's why other CTE directors are reaching out to him and trying to duplicate the work that's happening here. So thank you, Jared, for your partnership. Real quick, I just wanted to mention that all of these high school programs that we've talked about today, they all stack into, that's a higher ed term, stackable credentials. They all stack into the college credit programming that we're doing here at VUJ. So we have I like to say 2 buckets. All of our programs are either in a transfer bucket or in an occupational bucket, meaning designed to take students occupational right into the workforce once they complete their credential with VUJ. And so I've kind of condensed all of our majors into these content areas that are up on the screen. I think they're in your packets as well. And then highlighting those high school programs too. And so that it all flows together and culminates with our VU online baccalaureate degree program. So our students that are in those transfer pathways can continue and finish out that 4-year degree with VU. So proud of that stackability. Next, I'd like to invite Max Verkamp to come up. Indiana Furniture, we've had so many great partners across many different industries, and Max is the president and CEO of Indiana Furniture, and he's going to talk about what these programs mean to him and IFI. Thanks.
Thank you, Christian. First off, I'm very happy to be here and have the opportunity to speak to all of you. I think the team behind me, all of them are doing a great job in developing programs for the students of our community and for the business and industry that we see. Indiana Furniture really has been participating in the CAP program through VUJ for a number of years. We also are participating in the ARA program. We do also participate, you'll hear in a moment from Seth on some of the high school work-based learning programs. We've been a participant in that. And then we've also created some ad hoc relationships with some of the VUJ instructors, which has really been kind of an offshoot from some of the formal programs whereby we have gone into their classes, given presentation on current business issues, maybe done some mock interviews, but then they're also able to maybe recommend students to us that we would have during a maternity leave, a medical leave, maybe students that are wanting to get some practical business experience. It's been a great give and take relationship in that respect as well. But what we really see is the partnership through the formal programs, the informal ad hoc relationships. Those are things we really value at Indiana Furniture. We find that it is a win-win for the students as well as for us as a company. You know, having grown up here in the community, you don't really realize all the time all the great companies and organizations that are out there and the career opportunities you may have. And these partnerships really allow you to explore your interests and really explore the organizations in the community. To make this work, this team behind us really listens. But from a business, what we see is there's really three key takeaways for us. One is you have to have organizational buy-in. This cannot just be top-down, whether it's me, whether it's the HR team, whether it's the manufacturing, all the way down, everyone has to believe in it, buy into it, and support it. You have to be willing to invest in it, time primarily, in these kids, and what you do with them while they're with you. Kids talk. You know, they're going to say which companies give me the best internship, which one, they just have me tag along, I really don't do anything, they talk. But these are the kids we're going to be hiring down the road. So if we invest in them now, they're going to want to work for our companies down the road later and could be great employees. And we need to keep those people here in the community. And finally, the third thing is not every internship may go exactly as planned. Maybe it doesn't work out for one reason or another, but that then leads to conversations about how do we improve the program. Was there something that Indiana Furniture could have done differently, or VUJ, or whoever it might be? The key to that is there's a willingness to talk about it. There's a willingness to adapt. There's a willingness to change. On the ARA program, our first experience wasn't what we wanted. I don't think it was right for the student, but we talked about it. We discussed it. How do we improve it? How do we make it better? And in our current, with our current student and the experience, all the feedback I'm getting is it's very positive, and we've made a difference this time. So I encourage you to take a look at these programs, determine what's right for your organizations, and if you do make that determination that you want to jump in, make sure you're fully invested and that you're going to invest in the student when they're part of your organization. So I thank you for the time to get up here, just advocate for the programs a little bit. They're very successful, but they do require industry and businesses partnership to really make them work. So with that, I think I'm turning it back over to Dana. So thank you.
Thanks, Max. Appreciate that insight. I am back. You're welcome. This time I'm going to be discussing with you Dubois County career coaching, what that means, what it looks like, who the folks are that are doing the work, and what the model of career coaching looks like to us at each grade level. And also the importance of these authentic partnerships. Being here with all of these folks and all that you've heard already today, we have so many great partnerships already. But if you're sitting in the audience today and thinking like, well, I could get involved in this or that, I think that's what we're here for today, is to continue what's already working really well and find the places where we can continue to grow. So I'd like to start with introducing the county career coaches. I have been, this is my 4th year with Greater Jasper. And just this past summer, the other 3 school corporations all hired career coaches in their districts also. So I'm super excited about this. We have been meeting this fall, the 4 of us, and have a lot of team efforts and projects that we are moving forward with, and a lot of exciting things to come. But I'd like to introduce them. So starting with, they're right down here to my right. So Brian Dodd, if you wouldn't mind to stand so they can put a name with a face. Brian Dodd is from Dubois, representing Northeast Dubois County Schools. And Corianne Arts from Huntingburg, representing Southwest Dubois County Schools. And Carrie Dilger from Ferdinand, representing Southeast Dubois County Schools. Their contact information is also in the front of your packet. I believe I'm telling a true statement there. So please reach out to them also and make that contact in each of those county schools, and you will continue to hear from us about what we've got going on. I'm going to talk just a little bit about the model that we all use. We use a pretty consistent model in our discussions thus far this fall, but also things look just a little different in each school corporation. Most of our conversations center on the 16 national career clusters. So a while ago when I talked about 11th and 12th graders being, right there at your doorstep perhaps, I will go back in this conversation to how do we start working with kindergarten through 5th grade. And so as you think about careers, there are millions and millions of careers, and that is super overwhelming to kids at any age level. And so knowing that these 16 national career clusters is the center of our conversation, I think is good knowledge for you all, so that you can, when you're speaking with potential candidates, potential interns, those sorts of things, you can reference finance or marketing. I understand that you're interested in marketing, and that these are terms that they know and understand because they have been educated on those 16 national clusters. And I'm going to refer to that on the coming slides, so I just wanted to sort of put that in front of you there. So on what I refer to as the Dubois County career coaching model, we have 4 levels. So awareness, exploration, preparation, and training. And we sort of move, or we do our best to move students sort of through that path. And this is all somewhat new, but it is a lot of the work was happening long before career coaches and before me. When I say that we work as a team, Bill mentioned possibly, can I take the counselors piece? Possibly mentioning that we have school counselors in the room with us today also. So if those folks would stand, I would say that they are a huge part of this team that we have just been an addition to. So we have school counselors from middle schools and junior highs and guidance counselors. I know I see some faces. Come on. And so I, for one, feel fortunate to have joined their team and just be able to add to the work that they were already doing. And so as we look then back to awareness in kindergarten through 5th grade, what we talk about is that kids in these grade levels kind of live inside their little bubble, right? They might know what mom or dad or a caregiver does, an aunt and uncle, a neighbor. They go to school, so they have a basic idea of what teachers do. They go to the doctor, so they have a basic idea of doctors and nurses. But their bubble is still sort of small, so awareness of the many opportunities and many careers that are out there is a first step with these littles. And I put this model up so that you can see also where you can kind of plug into education. You're already doing this. Many of you in the room probably have represented JA in classrooms and been guest speakers and whatnot. So that's sort of what we're looking at in the kindergarten through 5th grade, is those sorts of opportunities for kids, and dress-up days, things that make it fun for them. What I have noticed is, because I am in my 4th year now, is there can be little light bulb moments for kids that they hold on to and are still talking about when I see them in middle school. And so kind of hitting them at that age with awareness of what careers are and what that can look like for them. And just kind of studying it like any other subject. We're not asking kids in kindergarten through 5th grade or even 6th through 10th to make decisions about the rest of their life, right? But studying it as a subject. As we move into 6th through 8th grade in the exploration piece, we start to talk to kids about themselves as a human and as a person, right? What am I really great at? And what do I really love to do? So skills and interests are a big piece of our conversation. We have different softwares that we use in the 4 school corporations where students can take skills assessments and interest assessments and personality tests and have conversations around those things. We continue those sorts of assessments through the years. Also in 6th through 8th grade, they continue to explore through opportunities like JA Job Spark. We have a career cruise coming up for 8th graders. I'll talk about that here in just a bit also. But exploring those careers that they learned about maybe in those elementary grades, and we pull awareness up into those grade levels also. And then preparation. The main transition from 8th to 9th grade is the focus on our CTE programming at the high schools. And so these guys have talked a little bit about, or a lot, about the programs that I would say really are in that training level of the 11th and 12th grade. And under Jared's programming also are our 9th and 10th grade programs, principals programs. So as we move them from 8th grade, and we have these 16 national career clusters that we have talked a lot about, and now I'm thinking, well, I might be interested in this one, and this one, right? And they're still really exploring these things. And we're able to talk to them about, you know, if they say, I might like to be a teacher someday, we say Principles of Education is a good course for you as a 9th grader. Or I am interested in health sciences. Let's think about taking the biomedical sciences course as a 9th grader. So that preparation is the key word there. Getting them involved in the career technical classes, and also where there is opportunity. The acronym I have there, CTSO, stands for Career Technical Student Organizations. And so we are projecting them into programs where they can not only study inside that pathway, but also lead through programs like FFA and BPA, Business Professionals of America. BPA is another one that many of you have been involved in over the years. And then finally, in the 11th and 12th grade, I won't go too far into that. It is our job to help the guidance counselors make sure that students are aware of the programs that are offered inside our school buildings and also out here on campus at VUJ and in other areas where they can get the training that, you know, these two gentlemen referred to that allow them to feel potentially workforce ready or ready for the next step in their path, whatever that might be, if it is continued post-secondary education. This I put up here, and I won't spend a lot of time with it, but we focus a lot on skills and interests and studying ourselves as students. But I wanted to just point out that opportunity bubble is where you all come into play. And the four of us welcome and plea, I would say, for information from you all to make sure that we're educated on what the opportunities are inside your businesses and hospitals and whatnot. So that we can have those conversations with kids. You know, these are the things you're really great at, and these are the things you love to do, and the careers that fit with that. And where is the opportunity for that? And so often we can say to them, right here in Dubois County, right? So that is a place also where we love to just keep that line of communication open so that we are able to educate our students on the opportunities available inside Dubois County. Finally, I just want to go through briefly here as the team of four of us working on some yearly countywide events. Some of these have happened previous and some will be new events. In October, we're pretty heavy there. The Tour of Opportunity, some of you have probably been involved with, and Ed is back here. Dubois Strong was a big player in the first Tour of Opportunity that happened a couple of years ago. So that is a 9th grade opportunity. Students, 550 approximately 9th graders converge here on VUJ's campus. We start the day here in the auditorium, and then we put them on buses out into industry partners of their choosing. Because again, remember that 8th to 9th grade transition. If I chose to take a Principles of Business Management course at Jasper High School or Southridge, I might be going into a business office to have sort of a job shadow experience, and that's what Tour of Opportunity looks like in many different career paths. Also in October, VUJ has the college fair here for 10th and 11th graders. It has been the last few years in the evenings, but we have been talking with them about potentially adding a daytime component to that so that we can bus students here, and students who maybe don't have the opportunity to come in the evenings won't miss that opportunity. So we're looking at that for next October. And then Jacob has in the CTIM building a manufacturing day here on campus, and that is program specific to our engineering and manufacturing students. So he asks us in schools to have students in engineering and manufacturing come to campus here, and he could speak better on this, but I did come and observe a couple years ago, and really cool project-based and competition in the manufacturing realm. Lots of you all industry partners were in different rooms of the CTIM building, and you had different hands-on projects that the students were working through and challenged with, and it was a competition with a cash reward at the end, I believe, if memory serves me. So that was a cool day. In April, we have career cruise. Some of you were signed up to come in 2020 to Jasper Middle School, and that didn't happen, of course, in April of 2020. So it is going to happen this spring for 8th graders. We are going to have that at Jasper High School in the auxiliary gym. It will be all 8th graders from the county. And we have, the last I looked, Carrie and I were just talking about this morning, about 38 of you all who have RSVP'd for that already. The box that says Career Cruise is a link, so if you think you might be interested in that, please RSVP today. That's for 8th graders who are still in this exploration mode, right? And so we will have the auxiliary gym full of booths for community partners to have a booth and hands-on experiences with students. Career exploration and awareness is a goal, but I will say also those of you interested in having students as part-time employees, perhaps even through high school, that would be a good place also to talk to 8th graders about opportunities that might be available to them part-time even through high school. So again, that is a link there, and you can feel free to email me if you have questions. For future planning, one idea that we are sort of bouncing around and have high hopes for goes back to the graduate profile, and that our seniors be able to give a defense of that graduate profile in a sort of presentation / interview with industry partners. So we see, much like Tour of Opportunity, where 550 kids converge on this campus, our seniors would do the same. And those of you representing manufacturing would be in the CTIM building, and health sciences and business and so on. And these students would be able to give a defense of their graduate profile to industry partners, and it could turn into sort of an interview process there as well. At this point, I am going to turn the mic over to Seth Sickbert, who runs our work-based learning and internship program. And I'll say, just as a aside here again to the growth and the work that he has done. I was a business teacher at Jasper High School for many years, and in my business management class, I used to put interns out into the workforce. Usually 8 to 10 a year would go out, and he's going to talk through the numbers of internship and work-based learning kids he's got now, so huge growth. And that again is thanks to you all taking interns. Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. Good morning. My name's Seth Sickbert. Like she said, I'm the work-based learning coordinator. I work for the 4 Dubois County schools. So like I said, my office, as Jared Howard said earlier, is here at the CTIM building on the VUJC campus. But I work at all 4 school buildings. Students that are in work-based learning have 2 options. They either have the ICE, where ICE is a school-to-work option for students. Students in ICE are in a paid setting. Students in ICE would add value to your company. And it's non-pathway specific. So any students, that would be a good opportunity for you as employers to possibly start a student or introduce a student to some options in your workforce by having them as ICE students in high school, 15 hours a week in a paid setting. Some of those ICE students may be going off to college, but primarily a lot of those are going to stick around, probably going to go straight into the workforce after high school. And then next, we've got the work-based learning or the internship program. Internship is pathway specific. Those students are probably going to be your future professionals. They've taken CTE pathways, so they've taken classes at their high school, whether it be business, internship, or something of that nature, and they're looking for that internship in engineering or business, whatever it might be. Max had mentioned at IFI, that they participated in the work-based learning program. They've had some interns in the past, like you said, some business interns most recently with their HR department. So that's been a great experience. And in some of those cases too, those interns come back in the summer as, I guess, what would traditionally be your college interns, but they've already got those relationships, and moving forward, they've got those students back as, like I said, straight into start in May after their high school career, and then they go off to college for whatever that business might be. I don't have a student like Jake. As usual, Jacob Berg tries to show me up with everything that he does. He's got two fine students here. I've got the next best thing in page 9, or the last page of your handouts. Is this kind of a student testimonial of their internship experience when they were in high school, and then having gone off to college. And it's Sarah Wire, if any of you know her. She was a Forest Park graduate a few years back. But she goes on in there and talks about how the internship experience prepared her for what was to come. First off, it made her know that what she was going to college for was what she really was meant to do, rather than change her mind later on or change her major. She also goes on in there to talk about how she felt like simply having that internship experience listed on a resume moving forward opened more doors for her. So more opportunities. It made talking points and interviews go that much smoother and so forth. So she actually had something relatable, as opposed to her peers when they go off to college and they simply list a resume or apply for a college internship or whatever it might be. It's all theoretical at that point because they don't have any real world experience. Well, in this case, Sarah had experience with the construction project at Lindauer Dairy Farm when they recently did their expansion, the last couple of years anyways. And then she was also with the engineering group, or the folks at Farbest, I should say, and went on, and like I said, having those two experiences listed on her resume moving forward, she felt like opened additional doors. And she does a very good job at spelling that out, or explaining that in that letter that she had sent. Really, that's all I've got. I think Bill just wanted to, like I said, have me explain what opportunities might be out there in work-based learning, whether it be the cooperative education or ICE side, school to work, and the internship side. Now, keep in mind, Dana just mentioned numbers. We have 88 students leaving the school in that school to work program right now, and this year we have 33 student interns. Historically, that number of interns had been a little bit higher, but as everybody has patted Jared Howard on the back, we've got some classes that offer embedded internships now that I think are taking a lot of those internship numbers. One of those being ARA here with the young man over here. So like I said, that would have been your traditional hands-on engineering type kiddo. And then we also have a business office admin class that's got how many students are in that class this year? 20-ish, which historically probably I would say 15 of those probably would have been interns, if not all 20 would have went the internship route. But that's an embedded internship, which I don't think we've talked about here a whole lot today, but that's a couple days a week where they'll come to your business, where my standalone interns are 5 days a week in their internship discipline. I believe that's all I've got for today, and I believe Ed Cole with Dubois Strong is next.
Hi, it's my privilege to talk about Hub 19 and its connection to economic development, and I think it's quite obvious to everyone here the importance of education to sustaining local business, but it also is important to business attraction. One of the big things that I always want to talk about is our schools. When you're doing business attraction especially, there's two main focuses. One, how can I get a house? Where can I get a house? What type of housing is out there? And they could be 1A and 1B. The other one is education. What are the schools like? I'm bringing my family. What kind of schools do we have? We, without a doubt, always say that we have excellent schools, and we don't even think twice about saying that because we know it's true. And with Hub 19's collaboration between all the schools, we're even taking it to a new level. Probably the important thing to me, and I called it the missing link, and I certainly don't want to disparage the counselors that are here today, but I felt like that the missing link with Hub 19 was the career coaches. They can be a bit more focused, obviously, with the name career. They can provide those students with some more focus, more time, more energy, and I know that the counselors here have wear many hats. So my only thing is I just want to give one more shout out to Tour of Opportunity. It's one of the things that we totally enjoy. I mean, everyone has parts of their job they like and that stand out. Tour of Opportunity, unfortunately, we did it in 2019, have not been able to revisit it. But we, and Dana spoke about it very briefly, but about 550 ninth graders were in probably, I think, upwards of 30 to 35 different businesses, tremendous response from the employers, tremendous response from the students as well. And I guess I'll just leave you with that. The importance of Hub 19's work and the collaboration, I think, that goes on in our county makes my job a lot easier, and it also makes it better to market to outside business. And also, one other element I'll just hit real briefly, workforce attraction is a big thing that we all struggle with. I know you all do in your jobs. How do you hire somebody? How do you bring someone in? Well, if we can say to them, hey, please move here and take a job, and again, your family has excellent schools to educate your children, it's all a big plus. So that's all I have to say today, and I just wanted to make that connection with economic development and education at Hub 19, so thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to, before you clap, I'm sorry. I need to introduce Dave Randich. Now you can clap. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Dave. My wife Paul and I moved to Jasper in 2012 when I was fortunate enough to become president of Master Brand Cabinets, and I worked at Master Brand for many years and then retired, and now I work for Purdue University as a teacher. And it's a long drive between here and West Lafayette, and I get various things to think about it on the way. And one of them is just kind of reflecting on my time at Master Brand. Master Brand employs a great number of people in Dubois County and also the state of Indiana, and like everyone else, it's hard to find enough qualified employees. And I was really impressed with Dubois County, just the work ethic and the dedication that you all know. Master Brand has locations all over North America, and it was not lost on me that Dubois County is very unique in terms of workforce strength. But even here, like the rest of North America, we have a shortage of skilled workers. And then at Purdue, I teach mostly undergrads, and this semester I have a course with all first semester freshmen, and I'm really amazed by the skill gap between the highest students who are ready to just soar in their careers and the lower level kids who I see starting to drop courses and drop out of university already as freshmen. And so those two experiences have really crystallized in my mind that the most important thing a community can do is educate the young people within the community. And so I'm really happy that I was invited to join the EEDC, which is all about enhancing student success and help students set themselves up for success in education here in Dubois County. And we're really faced with three big problems that I've seen and that our team has seen. One is we talked about the skilled worker shortage, and this could be, for example, when I was at Master Brand, it's hard to find information technology folks or marketing folks, and so often companies go outside of the county to hire those people. And what I've learned since I've joined this team is there's too many students who graduate without a plan at all. A very high percentage of our students are graduating high school without a plan, and they're falling into unskilled labor. And we know we have an unskilled shortage, but A lot of the kids who graduate without a plan are also graduating without the life skills to hold down an unskilled job. And then finally, we're starting to lose some of the professional jobs. The whole trend around remote work, which has been accelerated with the COVID, we're finding more and more of our local headquartered companies have professionals that don't live in the county anymore, and that can be a snowballing effect that's not good for our economy. So on our team, we have the 4 school superintendents. Dana's here, and Jared, Abby from the hospital, Brenda Stallings at Matrix, who really started this initiative, myself, and then Becky Hickman, who's our director. And I'll tell you, I've been on a lot of civic teams and charity organizations, and this one is unique in terms of the dedication. We have meetings, everybody shows up, everybody's ready, and we're getting work done. So we have 4 key objectives, and we've got 4 sub-teams. We're measuring ourselves, we've got goals. I'm leading the first one, which is a bit wordy there, but basically what we did is we mapped out the process from grades 7 to 12 for how we educate students here in the county and get them prepared for life. And it's everything from the curriculum on how we prepare for vocational or college prep. It's how the faculty and counselors work with the students, and then how we interact with the parents. And my takeaway is we've got a really good process here, and we're able to share it among the 4 districts. And from everything I've seen, students can go through our school districts and be very, very successful. The problem is not every child has an advocate that's helping them navigate through this. And so if a student is like me and is unmotivated as a student and doesn't have the advantages I had of parents pushing them through school, they can get lost in our system. And that's where really the community comes in, because we have way, way too many students that are not successfully navigating a very good system. We need an inclusive culture, so people want to bring their kids to our schools, and we want to start generating awareness for what we're doing. And so what we're doing right now, as I mentioned, we've got a very well-represented team. We're working together. We are measuring our results. We've got clear action plans. We have outside facilitation keeping us on track. And we're just getting ready to come out to the community and let everybody know what we're doing. But bottom line is it's educators, industry, and the broader community working together to make our students successful in what is a very good school system we have here in Dubois County. I'm going to turn it over to Bill. Thank you.
Okay, our next item, if I can use the clicker, was the Grad Grid. There it is. Luke was not able to be with us. He ended up being quarantined yesterday. And I know we share a last name, but we do not share a branch on any family trees. Okay? Grad Grid was started in 2018 at Greater Jasper, and it's an alumni program, basically, that puts all the graduates in there, and then there's like a job board on there, and it allows people to stay in connection with people who graduated from that school corporation. So I think it's in its 3rd or 4th year now with graduates, but we upload every senior every year into this program so that we can stay in touch. Employers can stay in touch, things like that. And that's about all I'm going to say about Grad Grid. I think you can read about it, and you know, I cannot do the justice that Luke would have been able to do. Before we wrap up today, first thing I want to do is recognize 3 very important parts to this whole process and everything we shared today. And that's my fellow superintendents in the back. Would you 3 stand up, Dr. Lorai, Dr. Pund, and Tim LaGrange. Give them a big round, please. It was a huge step for the 4 of us to come together and put aside our competitive natures and our differences and say, let's all work together as a county for the better of all of our students. And to be honest with you, the first thing we did together was hire Seth Sickbert as our county ICE coordinator. And we did that because we all had our own, and it was a matter of who got to you first or what contacts that person got. It wasn't about the skills of the child that you were looking for. It was about who could have their foot in the door first to get someone into your company, one of our students. So it kind of leveled the playing field where the students were competing and not us four schools for your attention and getting our kids into your buildings. And then later on, we hired Jared. So I think we've done a pretty good job of hiring. They're doing wonderful work, and we appreciate everything they're doing. Another person's name I want to mention that I think is important here is Dr. Chuck Johnson, VU's dean. Is he here? He's allowed us into this campus. He's allowed our students. He allowed our programs. I know Christian has been a person we've been working with, but it took that okay from the main campus for us to get to where we are today. So I think we owe a debt of gratitude to Dr. Chuck Johnson as well. I think we're about on time. We thank you all for being here. If anyone has any general questions for anybody, they do have mics. Otherwise, everybody will hang around afterwards. You can meet and talk with anyone. Today was about putting a name and an email with a face and having that contact. So all that information is in that booklet for you. If you want the electronic version of the PowerPoint or anything like that, you can email me. I can send that to you. But if anybody has any general questions that might be good for the whole group to hear, you can raise your hand. Great. We must have done a wonderful job. Thank you all very much for coming. There's still some food and drinks out there. Take on your way out. Like I said, people will hang around. If you want to talk to someone specifically, feel free. But thank you all for coming. Thanks for all of you for your collaboration and the work and in all that we're doing. Thank you. Have a great day.